welcome back to my video. So we're going to look at the example that I showed in the previous video of the introduction to inheritance. So this this program is just to display students, the different types of students which inherit from our student class. So let us now create a student class by right-clicking in this project, and then we click add and click that we want to create a class, and the name of the class is student CS. And yes, here we got a class here called student. So what our class has is it has a student number, it has a name, it has fees, and exam mark property. So we're going to by that string student number get and set, and we're going to have public string name, and we're going to get and set, and we've got public double fees get, and we're going to set, and we've got public int exam mark, and we're going to get and we're going to set. So now we've got 4 properties of a student, but now we need the 2 classes, the full-time student and the part-time student class. So I'm not going to create a new file for each class. I'm just going to declare both classes within this file called student.cs. I can do that, I'm allowed to do that, but as long as it's not within the student class. So I'm going to do that outside the student class. So I'm going to have class part-time student. Sorry about that. And then I'm going to have class full-time student. You see, you've now got both our classes, now 2 classes, the part-time student and the full-time student. Both these should be inheriting from the student class, but we have not specified that. So how do we specify that both these classes inherit from the student class? By putting a colon next to the name of the class, and you specify the class that it inherits from. And then as well as the full-time, you specify that this inherits from. So both these inherit from the student class, as you've seen in the example. Okay, so now let us come to our program CS. Our program CS, our form design. So I'm going to double click on the form so that I can have access to, or I can generate a method for my form load. Okay. So once I've got that, I'm now going to create 2 objects of one is going to be of the full-time student, and one is going to be of the part-time student. Oh no, I actually have to do that in the full-time and part-time ready buttons. But let me just check if those have been. So that's RealDeal full. So I'm going to double click that, and I'm going to go back and double click the part-time one. So I'm going to start with the full-time student. So I'll go full-time student, and then I give it a name. So this is the reference of the class as you do in classes, equals full-time student. Okay, so I create an instance for that. Sorry, I've got a new full-time student. So now this, so we're making use of now our default constructor. Even though we did not create our default constructor, we still can use it. Okay, so if we go student, sorry, If we go student dot, you see the properties that we've got access to. It's the student number, is the name, the fees, the exam mark. But now if we come back to our student class, our full-time student class does not have these, but because it inherits from this class, therefore it inherits all those properties. Okay, so that's what inheritance helps us with. So I'm going to now say student number equals, and that's a string, so I'm going to say it's 21111, whatever. And then I'm going to say my student dot name equals the name. I'm just going to think of a name. I'm going to use my name, and then I'm going to look. So now we need a student dot fees equals. I'm going to think of a fee 0.56. That's a double. And then I'm going to say student dot the exam mark, which is an int, equals not too bad, 78. And then so now I'm done with that. Now I have to display that in all the labels. So I'm going to go LBL, which is label number dot text equals student dot student number. Now that I've assigned that, LBL name dot text equals student dot name, and then LBL dot text equals student dot fees dot toString. Now, because this is a double, I want to convert that and make it a string, and that should have been LBL fees. And then now, lastly, I'm going to have LBL mark, I think, dot text equals student dot exam mark dot toString. Okay. So whenever we click this radio button, these labels are going to be filled with whatever was in the full-time. Now let's write code for the part-time, which should be exactly the same as those. So we're going to say part-time student, and give it a name student equals a new part-time student. Now just I'm going to make use of one property example. I'm going to say student number equals 21312, whatever, and then I'm just going to copy this because that should be the same throughout. In purposes of an example, I'm now going to make change name and say Zolile, and then the fees is going to be 256.25, and then the mark is going to be an 80, and we want to display this as well in our labels. Okay, so let me run this just to see that, just to test whether or not our code works. So whilst we're waiting, let me just see. Oh, my machine is a little bit slow. So whilst that is waiting, I'm just going to see if it really comes through, and then if it does, I'm going to show you how it works, and then we're going to stop the video for the first part. Okay, so here is so now it's currently selected full-time student, and the student number, the name, fees, just that I did not make this to be currency, but I'll upload that as a solution, and then that's the student mark. And then see, it changes. So that's what in your basic inheritance helps us with. we only provided we only provide properties in one class, but both these two classes can inherit that. Okay.